What's good, everybody? This is Ryan Johnson with MoneyBass.com. All right, guys, we are back. You know, I've been missing in action for a week or two, but hey, I'm back. That's all that matters, right? We're going to get straight into the festivities for the evening, guys. We're going to have some fun with it every Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you guys tune in to catch the live. So we are live and in action right now. And speaking of that, let me check over here on my Facebook crew. Want to make sure I have everybody, logging in and tuning in. Let me just check on my Facebook crew real quick. Just bear with me. All right, let me see. There we go. So my Facebook crew, you guys should be good to go. Shout out to the Facebook crew. Really appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. All right, so you guys have seen the thumbnail and the title of tonight's live stream. Let me just get this one set up real quick. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right, so cheaters and thieves. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about some cheaters and thieving.
Sir.
Man, there's some people out here doing some thievery. What do you think about it, guys? So, man, coming off of a long weekend, had a great tournament this weekend out at Lake West Point. Drop in the chat. What did you guys get into this weekend? Did anybody fish any tournaments or anything like that? Just let us know in the comments. And of course, you can use this as a brag board. All right, guys, we're going to get straight into it. As you know, the format of the show is we have the live chat. Shout out to everybody participating in the live chat. The show itself builds off of the live chat and, some of the comments and everything that go along with that. So make sure you get in the chat, introduce yourselves. This is the best chat on YouTube, guys. We have a great time here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And also the other thing that we do is we have a live poll. We will drop some poll questions throughout the live stream. And that's a way to kind of interact with you guys and also to gauge the room, just to see what your thoughts are on the topics that we talk about. And also, of course, I dropped the live call-in link. So this is something a little different, guys. If you're kind of passionate or you have some things that you want to add to the conversation, I will drop the live call-in link, and that will allow you to click that link. Make sure you are cammed up. I will bring you up on the screen with me. We'll sit side by side for a second or two, for a minute or two, and just let you drop your thoughts, opinions, suggestions on the topic that we're talking about. I will drop you down and bring up the next guest. So, hey, yeah, we have some fun with it, guys. So let me first hop in here, and I'm going to share my screen. Also, drop a 1 in the chat. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Everything looks good, sounds good, and we're good to go. So I will do that first. Let's just go ahead and get that 1 dropped in the chat. Make sure you guys can hear me okay. Then we'll get rolling. How about that? How about that? All right, there we go. Shout out to, we got Jeremy Williams. Shout out to Jeremy Williams. Hit me with the 1. Let me know everything looks good and sounds good. All right, so let's roll with it. All right, so here we go. Just bear with me as I share the screen, guys. So what we're going to do is just take a quick look at a situation that has occurred. Some of you may have heard about it, but if you haven't, let's go ahead and bring this up. All right, so let's just listen in and see what we are talking about today.
Sam, Rayburn Lake, hundreds of anglers gathered to compete in the Sealy Big Bass Splash Tournament this weekend. And while that was going on, game wardens were out busy catching crooks. For 2 days, game wardens from surrounding counties were out hunting for stolen equipment.
Ooh.
Some 300 boats, 243 motors, and 100 trailers were all inspected. In total, we're told wardens seized over $100,000 in stolen gear.
Man, so there you go, guys. $100,000 in stolen gear. So while people were out fishing, the game wardens were out doing their thing. They were checking those trailers, and when they were coming in for the weigh-in and everything, I guess they were there waiting on them, and just checking some equipment and all that kind of stuff. Let me just pull up this other article, guys, because there's a little more information that we can have, that we can look into about this. But before we do that, let's go ahead and drop a poll question. So like I said, we definitely get active in the chat and try to make sure everything is interactive with you guys. All right, so for this first poll question, have you ever had something stolen during a tournament? So whether somebody, broke into your boat during a weigh-in, or maybe stole some tires off your trailer, just anything like that. Have you ever had someone break into your truck or your boat or anything like that during a tournament? So that is going to be the first poll question. Just bear with me. This is a live show, guys. Every Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern, we get together and, talk about some hot topics, talk about fishing and, just a few different things. Just depends on what's going on and what you guys have to say in the chat. All right. So have you ever had anything stolen during a fishing tournament? All right. So a lot of these items appear to have been some stolen gear and equipment, and more than likely they were taken by people that were participating in some type of tournament, or maybe someone just saw your boat at the gas station or at a grocery store or whatever on your way home. You just never know, and decided to run over there and grab a few things real quick and put them on different places where you can sell them at online. So that's kind of my thought. When you see those ads and people are selling boats and equipment and things like that, and they may not have the receipt, but how often do people actually ask for receipts when you're buying specific type of gear? All right, so that poll question is live and in action. So we have a nice crowd coming in, guys. Also, how are my likes looking? Are you guys hooking me up with the likes? Am I getting any likes? Make sure you hit the like button on your way in, guys. It really does help out the show. All right, so the poll question is, have you ever had anything stolen during a fishing tournament? And if so, just get active in the comments and drop it down there. Let us know what. Okay, I see some guys already getting active in there. All right, so I'm going to hop into the chat and see what you guys have to say about that. And also the other thing, I always try to put valuable information in the description on the video. So I went ahead and took a little time and found some links to some items that may help you guys whenever you're out on the lake, or you're at a tournament, that may prevent somebody or kind of slow them down on stealing some things from your boat, like your electronics or getting into your compartments, things like that. So make sure you click those links in the description. Anytime there's any discount codes or anything like that, I make sure I include that also. Just something that I drop in there to help you guys out. All right, so what I'm going to do is hop into the chat real quick, and then I will pull up this next article that kind of dives a little deeper into what was going on with that situation. All right, so here we go, guys. Haven't seen you guys for a quick minute, so I have to definitely give a shout out. What is going on? We have Paul Gavinsky. Shout out to the Money Team. What does he have to say? He says, waiting on the outcome of the Open they had on West Point. All right, so what he is referring to is we had the big, the 15th annual homecoming tournament on Lake West Point with the Rob Benders Bass Club. The results for that, I don't know if they have the results up on the website yet, but yeah, so I mean, some guys came out there and did their thing. I mean, I think it took around 18 pounds, a little over 18 pounds to win that tournament. I was out there with my coat angler. We were doing our thing. We were catching here and short ones here, keepers there, but nothing that was good enough to be in the money in that paycheck line. But I think we had just a little under 8 pounds. So we were culling our way, up to those 8 pounds, trying to find those bigger fish, but just couldn't make it happen. I know a lot of people were saying that the guys that were able to get those 5 and 6 pound fish, they were out there finding those fish on bed. I did see a few fish on bed, but wasn't able to capitalize on that. Found some shallow brush piles, but mainly I stuck with fishing rocks, and just seems like I was getting the buck bass. Wasn't able to get any of those larger females, so I did not place, guys, but had a great time. Caught a lot of fish and had a great time with my co-angler on that tournament. And I did hear that Paul Gavinsky was at the weigh-in. He was out there looking for me, but I was running around pretty busy with, helping out with the tournament and everything. All right, so Paul Gavinsky says, I tried to find him, but he evaded me. Oh, yeah, I think somebody pointed you out, but you were way up, headed up towards the weigh-in, and I was still down in the parking lot. All right, so let's see. What else do you guys have to say? All right, shout out to the Money Team once again. We have Big Ivy checking. He says, let me see. Oh my goodness, Big Ivy, what are you guys talking about in the chat? All right, we have GS Fishing says, nice tournament Saturday. I had a ball. All right, so really appreciate it. So you attended the tournament. How did you do out there on the lake? Drop that information down in there. Remember, guys, you can use this as a brag board also. All right, then we have Black USC checking in, says bass tournament on Murray, got second place, big fish of the hour. All right, there we go. All right, big shout out to you, and congratulations on that. Got a second place on Lake Murray. So what kind of weight did you have out there? I know they definitely have some very nice sized fish on that lake. All right, then shout out to Crush It Jail. Really appreciate you for tuning in. All right, let's see what else you guys have to say in here. All right, so CT says not exactly how it happened, but pretty close, pretty close. All right, so CT might have some inside info. All right, let's see. Max says great job by the wardens. Oh yeah, so they were getting a lot of shout outs and accolades on their Facebook page. We'll pull that up and take a look at it in just a second too, guys. All right, so Black USC says, got to be careful who you buy from. That is correct. That is correct. So yeah, I have a few questions that I have in mind that I'll ask you guys in just a second. So we'll take a look at this article, and then after that, I'll hop back into the chat and we'll take a look at that poll, guys. All right, let's see. Paul Gavinsky says, yeah, cutting my catalytic converters off when I was night fishing. Oh my goodness, man, that is nasty. So you were night fishing. Man, but that should have made a lot of noise because I think they use a like a sawzall or something like that when they cut those off, right? Yeah, I mean, man, that one's kind of crazy. All right, let's see. CT says my partner did while we were fishing. Okay, so all right. So you had somebody steal something from one of your friends. Paul Gavinsky says it cost him $1,500. Oh yeah, that's kind of ugly, man. That's kind of ugly. All right, here we go, guys. Shout out to the Facebook crew. We have Mike Martin checking in. Really appreciate you for tuning in to the live streams. All right. And Max says it takes a sorry SOB to steal. Oh yeah, I kind of agree with that. That's kind of bad news right there. Don't want that going on. All right. Bobby says let me see. If something is too good of a deal, it probably is. And that's kind of what I was mentioning earlier, guys. When you're seeing these sales on the different websites, and sometimes people will put in there like, hey guys, be careful, this guy's a scam. He's listed the same product and said it was sold on different social media sites and things like that. All right, so let's see. We have Eat Squawk chicken in. What is going on? Glad to see you in the live stream. All right, says no, but somebody whose boat got stolen from the hotel. Wow. Okay, so I guess you're saying their boat got stolen from the hotel when they were gone for dinner. He may have deserved it though. He was a real jerk. Oh, come on. That's not good. That's not good. All right. Shout out to the Money Team once again. We have Joe Winkler, a very strong supporter of the channel. Really appreciate you for tuning in. All right. He says, I got everything stolen, pickup and all, back in 2005. Wow. Man, that is crazy. Nowadays, people have tracking and stuff on their vehicles and things like that. So that'll definitely help out. All right. Let's see what else we have going on in the chat, guys. All right, so I'm just about caught up. Let's just see. Shout out to the Money Team. Paul Gavinsky says they must have been up north. Oh yeah, on Lake West Point, catching those larger fish like that. That's what people were saying. They went upriver to catch those. So I tried to do my thing, but I couldn't quite hang with them this time. All right, so Brandon says, I wish someone would steal my boat so I can get a new one. Oh no. Come on, Brandon. Come on, Brandon. All right, but I mean, I know some people that kind of feel the same way. All right, GS Fishing says, we did okay. Nothing to brag about this week, but got to meet some new people and had a good time. Oh, yeah, we had food, had fun, festivities, things out there for the kids, those big bouncy houses. I saw them out there definitely having a good time. All right, shout out to Mike Deal. What's going on? Appreciate you for tuning in. He says, listening in while I strip old carpet off a buddy's boat. So I can, okay, so you out there changing some carpet, putting in some work. All right, really appreciate you for tuning in. All right, then big shout out to Dimitri checking in. He says, glad these game wardens took the time to inspect trailers, but should check engines and boats as well. So it sounds like they were doing that. So like I said, what I'll do in just a second, just get through this last comment, then I will pull up some more information that goes a little more in depth in that. And then we'll take a look at the poll. But also just think about if you have purchased something and you think everything's on the up and up, but now you're at the weigh-in, you walk back and you see the game warden standing there with a notepad and a pen saying, hey, buddy, come on over here. Let me talk to you for a second. I've checked these serial numbers and something doesn't seem quite right. Man, how are you going to feel about that whenever they confiscate something that you have just purchased? All right, but let's see. Dimitri says, glad these game wardens took the time to inspect trailers, but should check engines and boats as well. You would be surprised on whatever they might find stolen, especially GPS units. Yes, there are a lot of guys that get those GPS units stolen, and it only takes a second if you do not have those locks, those locking mechanisms on your graphs. And like I said, guys, I put links in the description to some items that would definitely help you guys out. Anytime there are any discounts or anything, I make sure I include those links. Some of them, the discount code will be MoneyBass. So make sure you check those out. Even if, you're not ready to purchase it yet, it may give you an idea of some things that you can kind of start looking into in order to save yourself from, getting back to your boat or your trailer and just definitely having a bad day. All right. So Paul Gavinsky says, I wanted to see who was the owner of another legend, sharp looking paint scheme. Oh yeah. So there's somebody in our club that has a legend out there. He was out there fishing on the lake. All right. So let's go ahead and just bear with me again. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to take a look at this article that goes a little more in depth. And anybody, whether you fish tournaments or not, if you are out there fishing, you're going to leave your trailer in a parking lot or on the side of the, well, not on the side of the road. Well, depending on how full the parking lot is. But when you're out there on the lake, that trailer's out there, it still has some valuable items on there. So we're just going to take a look at what else they had to say. Let me just make sure I have that queued up correctly. All right, there we go. All right, guys. All right, so this is what we're going to take a look at next. Texas game warden sees 100,000 worth of stolen boats and motors at amateur bass tournament. All right, so that is what we're talking about. All right, so before we do that, let's take a look at this poll and just see where you guys are at. And what we'll do is I'll go ahead and change this poll out as soon as we take a look at it and see where you guys are at with this poll. All right, so the first poll question of the evening is, have you ever had anything stolen during a fishing tournament? All right, guys, we have 18% of you guys are saying yes, you have had something stolen. Man, and that is a terrible thing, especially if it's something real expensive or something that you can't necessarily replace even when you get that insurance money. But we have 82% that says no, so that's a good deal. That's a good deal with that. And so luckily, I have not had anything stolen from any tournaments or pre-fishing or anything like that. So, I'm part of that 82. Well, man, it just dropped to 80%. So some more guys are chiming in and saying, well, yeah, somebody got me. They got me at the boat ramp. But yeah, so definitely always want to be on the lookout for that. Want to make sure you keep your insurance up, and you want to make sure that you have enough to cover your gear also. That is a big thing. Also, take pictures of the gear that you have ahead of time. That will save you a big headache whenever you're trying to go back and file a claim, if in the event something like that happens to you, whenever you're staying in a hotel or something like that. And the links are in the description, guys. Just go ahead and take a look at the links in there, because if you're staying at a hotel or something, you definitely want something that whenever they start moving your compartments around, something like that, that an alarm will go off to kind of scare them away. So I did put the link for that. And I don't know if any of you remember, a few years back, there was a tournament angler that was actually killed in a situation where someone was stealing something from his boat, and he went and attempted to confront that person himself, which is not a good idea, guys. Because remember, these are just material things. We have our family, our friends, and everything that really care about us. So you don't want to try to take matters into your own hands with that, guys. Always make sure you call the police and get them out there to handle the situation, because it's not worth it whenever things escalate to that point. All right, so now let's take a look at this article and just see a little more detail of what was going on with that. All right, let's see, guys. Let me make sure I can get this up here so you guys can see it. All right, so here we go. So they're the game wardens. They're out there checking serial numbers on boats, trolling motors, all of that good stuff, guys. All right, so here we go. Texas game wardens inspected more than 300 boats during their 2-day patrol. All right. While thousands of amateur anglers competed in the Big Bass Splash on Sam Rayburn Lake over the weekend, April 20th, a group of Texas game wardens conducted their own sort of fishing expedition as they checked those anglers for stolen equipment. Over the course of the tournament, wardens seized over $100,000 worth of stolen boats and motors. Man, so how would you feel if you're one of those people who, maybe you purchased a $3,000 trolling motor, and now you find out that trolling motor has been stolen, and they're out there just, they have their drill and they're taking equipment off of your boat, and you don't get that back. Man, that would be a terrible feeling, to just watch your money just walk away like that. All right, let's see what else they had to say. All right, so officials with the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department called attention to the bust in a recent Facebook post. All right, so they've documented on their Facebook page, so they do have a little information about that. All right, which refers to the saturation patrol. So they're called the saturation patrol that was conducted at Sam Rayburn over the weekend. Similar to a DUI checkpoint, the patrol subjected tournament participants to a mandatory boat inspection by wardens. Man, mandatory boat inspection. So you do not have a choice in that. All right, it was led by TPWDs, and that stands for the Texas Wildlife Department. Well, the Texas Wildlife Department. All right, let me see. Theft Investigation Unit, which coordinated the game wardens from 6 different Texas counties. All together, they inspected around 300 boats, 243 motors, and 100 trailers. Wow. All right, so yeah, there they are doing their inspections. They're checking things out, guys. So they're out to get you, man. What do you guys think? Do you think these should be done a little more? Let's hop back over here to this poll real quick, and we'll change that question up just to keep things moving. All right, so have you ever had anything stolen during a fishing tournament? We have 81% says no, 19% says yes. All right, so there we go. So we're just gauging the room, guys. Make sure you continue to participate in the poll. And also, wait a minute. Did you hit the like button? Let's see if you guys hit the like button yet. Uh-oh. The likes are not looking too lovely. Can you guys just set the hook on the like button? I mean, I know some of you were out there on the lake this weekend. Maybe you weren't setting the hook out there, but can you set the hook in here? Hit the like button. It really does help out the channel and kind of push it out and get more people participating, which is what we're all trying to achieve. All right, so hold on. Let me just double check and see where we're at. What I'll do, okay, they're moving up a little bit. So we'll hop into the chat real quick while those likes are, kind of stepping up a little bit. While you're stepping up and hitting that like button, then we'll hop back into this article. And I do have, so this is the thieves part of the live stream. So if you saw the title of tonight's live stream, it is cheaters and thieves. So right now we're talking about the thieves, but there's another segment where we have some very interesting cheating that was going on. It's kind of a familiar thing, but it's going to be different. So you definitely want to stay tuned and find out about that. All right, so let's hop back into the chat and see what you guys are talking about in here. All right, so let's just hop in. Let's just hop in somewhere. All right, so we have Pat checking in. He says, I had my feelings stolen when I lost that big one on West Point a few years ago. And I was on the boat with Pat when he did that. I mean, Pat had a crankbait on. What'd you have on there, Pat? About 8-pound line or something, and had his drag tight all the way. That, well, let's say you had 10 or 12-pound line on there. I mean, that fish hit, it pulled drag for a good 5 to 10 seconds, had his reel screaming, and pow, just popped the line. And I was like, did you have your drag pulled out, tied all the way down? And he was like, oh yeah, I forgot to adjust my drag. So yeah, he had his feelings stolen on that one for sure. All right, so we have DPC checking in, says, how about finding your trailer lights? Your trailer lights hit when you return. Man, I have actually seen that happen to somebody where they're cutting the corner a little too tight and get the trailer hit. All right, he says, and no note on your windshield. I've taught my kids leave a note. Oh yeah. I mean, you just got to go ahead and take responsibility for things. I mean, it works out better in the long run. And I mean, you never know. That person may end up being a good fishing buddy or a friend of yours. I mean, because they'll see that you're an honest person, which everybody likes to have in their circle. All right, so let's see what else you guys are talking about in the chat. So right now we're in the live chat and I'm checking the likes. If you have already hit the like button, drop the word like in the chat. Let's see. I just want to take a gauge and see who actually likes the content, who likes what we have going on this evening. All right, let's see. All right, Demetric says, yes, this should be mandatory on a regular basis. What do you guys think about that? How about we'll put that as the next poll question? All right, so have you ever had anything stolen? We're at 83% of you have said no, 17% of you have said yes. So let's change this poll out. What do you guys think about these random boat inspections? So anytime you're pulling up to a tournament while you're out on the lake, the game wardens are there checking your trailers. When you get back and you're headed to the weigh-in, they're there checking your trolling motor. They're checking your motor. They're checking the serial numbers on the boat just to make sure things are on the up and up. Do you think that should happen on a regular basis? All right. So should mandatory boat inspections occur more often during tournaments? How about that? And we'll keep it simple once again with a yes and a no. So I think this one will be pretty interesting. So let's put no with the exclamation point, like, no, keep away from my stuff. I don't want you knowing what I have on there. Let's see what you guys have to say. All right. So poll number 2 is live and in action. Let's see what you guys think about that one. Let's see what you think. All right. All right. You guys are already voting on that. All right. So make sure you hit the like button on the way in, and also make sure you participate in the polls. Very important that we get some feedback from you guys, and also always participate in the chat. Want to give a big shout out to everybody participating in the chat, guys. This channel has the best chat on YouTube. We're in here chopping it up, exchanging ideas. Kind of sometimes we're in here butting heads and not agreeing on things, guys. So it's always interesting to get in here and you know, kind of mix it up with everybody. Let everybody know what you're thinking. All right, so let's see. Michael Martin says this is new money for DNR. Oh my goodness, I did not think about that. So what actually happens to this equipment after they take it? If they take, say, a trolling motor, a $3,000 trolling motor off of your boat that you purchased and you thought it was legitimate, but now you find out that it's not, you're at the tournament, they're out there with the drill and just remove it off of your boat, and you see them put it on their trailer and drive away with it. Should they give that person the opportunity to purchase that item back? Because more than likely it's going to go into some type of auction, or, you know, it just may disappear from the evidence room. You just never know what's happening out there. But what do you guys think about that? Should that person be able to go back and purchase, which sounds kind of bad because you've already paid for it once in a sense. Oh man. All right. So yeah, so Michael Martin comes up with a good point. This is new money for the DNR. So with that being the case, it seems like they would be doing this a lot more. All right, so CT says, let me see. I saw a guy hit a trailer. I confronted him, and the club president defended him. I saw it happen. Man. So did you call the police? Did you get the authorities involved with that? And what happened to that? I mean, if they tried to defend the person, what was the defense in that? How can you defend that, especially if you witnessed it happen? All right, shout out to Chauncey Davis. We have Chauncey checking in. Good to see you back in the live stream. He says, I got your back, fam, and I'm on deck. All right, really, really appreciate it. All right, so let's see who else we have checking in. All right, all right. I'm just going through the chat real quick, guys. Whenever the chat gets real backed up for you, for the guys and gals that are familiar with the channel, you know, I'll start hopping in and reading the chat messages from the money team just so I can get caught up. But it doesn't look like we're too far behind right now. So what is going on, Eat Squawk? Eat Squawk says, had one guy in our group who was sleeping in his truck as a guy jumps in his boat and starts grabbing stuff. The guy with our group jumped out of his truck with a gun. Thief took off. Oh my goodness. That is tough, guys. That's tough right there, man, because the things are just so iffy nowadays because you're defending your property. But in some of these states, I mean, defending your property is not the equivalent of defending your life. It's not life and property. It can only be life in some instances. So you're thinking you're doing the right thing and you jump out and try to do that. And now you end up with lawyer fees, possible jail time. It's tough, guys. It's tough. All right. All right, shout out to the like crew. So here we go. Let's see. Shout out to Chris Aiken. We have Chauncey Davis. Hit that like button. Shout out to Crush It Jail. And if you guys take a look at the bottom of the screen, you see thanks so much to the Cash App crew. But special thank you so much to the sponsor of the live stream. Guess who it is? Crush It Jail. That means that Crush It Jail was the person that gave the largest super chat or super sticker during a previous live stream. And what that does, it gets your name down there on the bottom of the screen on that banner and get you a few extra shout outs. So big shout out to Crush It Jail for supporting the channel. Really, really appreciate that. And whoever does give the largest super chat or super sticker during the live stream, that is the sponsor of the live stream, because this channel is supported by you guys, the viewers, and the people who stop in every once in a while to see what we're talking about over here. All right, so big shout out to Texas Noop. Hit the like button for me, really appreciate it. All right, so what does Corey say? Big shout out to the Money Team. Says, how would you prove your stuff is yours? Well, I mean, if they're checking and they have the serial number and everything, your stuff may have been yours until they showed that it was listed on their list of stolen goods. Oh my goodness. I just thought of another one, guys. What if someone reports what if someone, let's say that they actually own the equipment, they report it stolen while they have it with the receipts and everything, and then sell the item to somebody and then they get the item back. Oh, that would be terrible. That would be terrible. So Corey says, how would you prove your stuff is yours? If you don't have the receipt, that would be kind of tough. Man, it's just kind of shisty out here in these in these streets sometimes, guys. All right, so let's see. Stephen Dorsey says, yes, they need to do it on a regular basis. All right, let's see. Max says, in North Carolina, you are always subject to to be checked by wildlife officials at any time. All right, Ron Robinson says, no, get away from my boat. Get away from my stuff. Don't be over here peeking around trying to see what you can see. I don't want it. Oh, my goodness. Guys, the poll. I am kind of surprised by the responses in the poll. If you have not participated in that poll question, make sure you hop over there and let me know. Are you surprised by the responses on the poll? Wow. Okay. All right. All right. Let me see what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to go ahead and drop the live call-in link. And like I said before, this is a very interactive show. We get together every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. It is always best to catch these shows live because you can participate in the live chat, participate in the polls, and also the call-in link. So I'm dropping that call-in link in the chat. Just make sure you are cammed up. If you have a YouTube channel, I always suggest that you hit that call-in link because, I'll give you a quick shout out for your channel. If you guys may go and check it out. All right, so the call-in link is in the chat. Just make sure you are cammed up. I will bring you up on the screen and then, do a quick sound check and you can voice your opinion on the topic that we have covered so far. So right now we are talking about the thieves. So we're talking about the thievery, but we're going to be talking about cheaters also. So it's cheaters and thieves. They're getting busted out here, guys. They're getting caught. So that's what we're talking about. Some of these guys, maybe they knowingly purchased stolen equipment. Maybe they made some of those little shady deals and was like, hey, I'm not the one who stole it. So, let me go ahead and slide a few bucks over here and get this good deal. All right. DPC says probably not, but do see what I'm required to see. All right. All right. Let's see what else you guys have to say in here. All right. So what I'm going to do, let's just check the likes. Okay. The likes are almost where they need to be. Let's see. How many more likes do I need, guys? Let's get about 7 more likes. Can I get 7 more likes? Then we'll hop back into this article and see what else you guys have to say. And I see we have some more people tuning in. All right. Special thank you to everybody tuning in and getting active in the chat. Want to welcome everybody as you come into the live stream. Make sure you hit the like button and participate in the poll. Those poll questions are going to change throughout the show. We're going to have some fun with it. The call-in link is in the chat. So if anybody has heard anything so far that they want to hop in and, voice their opinion on, make sure you do that. Let me drop the call-in link one more time. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, so that call-in link is in the chat. And what do you know? We have somebody that may want to offer some insight into what we have talked about so far. So let me go ahead and bring somebody up real quick, and then we'll hop back into the article. All right, so here we go. Who is this right here? What is going on, sir? Big shout out to CT. We have Cerebral Tackle checking in, everybody. So what is going on?
Man, I tell you, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. I'll be back to content soon as I get this storage issue squared away.
All right.
I got too much data. Anyway, yeah. See, this interdiction team that they have out there in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
See, this particular tournament, the Sealy Big Bass Splash, I think they still do one on Toledo. I know they do this one on Rayburn. They do one on Fork. And what happens is you have a bunch of the big marinas to small marinas to campgrounds getting stuff ganked from. And it kind of gets passed around and goes from big lake to big lake.
Mm-hmm.
And these big bass tournaments, these big gimmick tournaments, like Sealy's, like Berkeley's, like all of those that are hourly big bass tournaments, that's where you get the most entries from amateur anglers. And so it's a one-stop shop. So you may get something stolen on Fork, and it may end up on Rayburn or T-Bend or somewhere like that, and vice versa, right?
Right.
But it always kind of circulates around the same groups. So that's why they always, what they didn't say is like, this is huge for any of these big hourly bass tournaments. They will flood that saturation, basically that saturation coverage, what they're talking about there. They will pull game wardens from a bunch of other counties and flood it. They're looking for everything from small fish, like on Fork would be like a slot fish.
Right.
You know, they just freaking dog pile. Saturation is a perfect word.
Okay.
But yeah, but with the Plainview Doctrine, they're looking at trailer numbers, you know, and what they can see on the back of the outboard on the plate.
Right.
You know, they can do all that easy without a warrant. But if they're setting up these drive-through lines like they do, like you talked about, similar to like a DUI checkpoint.
Right.
Yeah, they'll sit there and they'll do it. Plus, a lot of hourly bass tournaments have where you have to enter in your registration numbers on some of their entry forms. Okay. Now, if you do that, they just hand that paperwork straight over to the game wardens in this particular incident, TP and WD.
Right.
And what they do is they just run it against all their databases. And it's my understanding that, yeah, person who got stolen from gets first crack at having it back. If it's already been settled with insurance or something like that, they can then say, yeah, it can go to whatever as far as an auction. But I've seen some people in the chat saying, oh, yeah, they just get more money. Yeah, not exactly how that works. Sometimes some money goes back to interdiction units, but a lot of times it actually goes to crime victim funds.
Okay.
And so it actually helps folks that have been wronged, whether it's domestic violence or, you know, straight up unaliving people to be YouTube safe, you know, that kind of stuff. Will go back to crime victims and their families. So, yeah, it's a big deal. Now, is this the biggest bust that's happened in a while? Yeah. But they're out there every one of these hourly big bass tournaments because it's just where they bust most people the easiest. And with time starting to get harder and harder financially, you're probably going to start seeing more of this. But
yeah, and actually, if you think about it, the more that they do these and they make it to where if you know that you are buying something that may be stolen, and now when you go fishing, they're going to be checking that on a regular basis, it will deter people from actually buying that equipment, which in turn would make the people that are stealing it see that it is not necessarily a lucrative thing to do because people aren't buying as much anymore. So where you may get 3 trolling motors, sell 3 trolling motors, you get 3 trolling motors, you sell 1.
Yeah.
You get another one, and now you've only sold 1 because now people are knowing, they know that they can just as easily as they got it, it can be gone. And they could be some additional consequences on it depending on how things happen.
Oh, yeah. And with things like this, though, when you're actually talking about motors, boats themselves, like, you know, like Eat Squawk mentioned about how, you know, we knew a guy that was out during the lunch and got his stuff ganked while he was at lunch. By the way, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I hope you sense the sarcasm there.
I heard that.
But anyway, homie had it coming. But yeah, it was kind of with these bigger ticket items, law enforcement is more apt to actually hunt it down than it is if you get burglarized like we had been before. Good luck. Good luck.
Okay.
It's like one of my electronic devices actually got signed on online, and I got a notification. And I'm like, right there, right freaking there. They wouldn't do anything about it. But if it's a boat and or a motor, oh yeah, they're going to tap that. So anyway, it's pretty nifty. But yeah, they tend to do this, and for it to go from very low numbers as far as recovery rates to all of a sudden this huge spike, yeah, they found something pretty quick. So, and I also suspect too that, you know, do they always do the saturation? Yes. Do they always do like these hardcore mandatory inspection lines? No.
Right.
So they might have had some intel there, if you know what I mean.
Right. I mean, especially they walked away with $100,000 worth of equipment and gear. So
yeah, years ago there was a huge theft ring going around Lake Fork, and they were like just tearing it up. And no marina, no campground, no RV park was safe. And they finally started getting to the bottom of that and finding where, you know, some of the ringleaders were, and they got it broken up pretty good. And from what I understand, that lake is a lot safer now than it used to be.
all right.
But once upon a time, everybody was taking everything they had out of the boat into their hotel room, and you know, had their firearm with them.
Yeah, I take everything out of my boat with me, but yeah, luckily I do a lot of camping nowadays, so my boat is right there with me. But man, but I appreciate the info. I appreciate the info for you coming up. Well, I guess we'll hop back into this article. Looks like the likes are looking pretty good, but everybody give a big shout out to CT. All right, really appreciate you coming up. All right, appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we had CT checking in. He had some inside info, had a little more insight to some things for us. All right, so now let's see. All right, wait a minute, guys. What's going on? I just need one more like. Can I get one more like? That's all we need. Then we're going to hop back into this article. Let's go ahead and pull that back up. And as what we were going through was some more detailed information about the let me see, did we get that like? Did somebody, if you drop the like, hit the like button for me. And if you hit the like button, just drop the word like in the chat. I just want to see who's participating. We want to see who's part of the crowd participation. All right, so we're looking all right on the likes. We need about 5 or 6 more likes, but we'll hop back into the article, guys, and see what else they had to say about it. All right, so here we go. Let's see. All right, let's see. Brandon said, I don't consent to searches or seizures. All right, I don't know if they're going to pay attention to that one, because like CT mentioned, they do have the plain view doctrine. So there's some things that they don't have to actually be intrusive, and they can just see from plain view. All right, so let's see. Let's see what else they had to say. So there they are checking lower units and motors and everything. They have the cowling off of that boat right there. Wow, so they are getting kind of in depth with that. All right, so let's see. In an email to Outdoor Life, let me see. The TPWD game warden and MITU captain Jennifer Weaver clarified that the estimated value of seized equipment was $102,694. This includes 2 boats and 10 motors. Wow, so they actually took the entire motor. The value in boats was $27,700 and motors was $74,994. Man, okay, so they were definitely out there recovering some things. All right, she explains that no arrests were made. However, that the Texas Wildlife Department investigation is ongoing. This will include looking into taxes and titles for the stolen vessels and outboard motors. Man, so you definitely don't want to get hung up in that. I mean, you're just out there trying to fish. Next thing you know, you have the wardens knocking at your door saying, hey, you might need to come with us and spend a little time behind some bars. That's ugly. All right, Weaver says that, let me see, MITU saw the big bass splash as an opportunity. So they saw the big tournament as an opportunity to inspect a large number of boats in a short amount of time. Definitely. I mean, yeah, whenever you have those big tournaments like that. So think about if they start doing that on a regular basis. Let's see. Let's change this poll question, guys. All right. So the poll question that we currently had was, should mandatory boat inspections occur more often during tournaments? we have 26% that says no, leave us alone. Leave us alone. They should not do these inspections during tournaments. I'm trying to get my check and go home. I do not want to be bothered. All right, so there we go, guys. Should mandatory boat inspections occur more often during tournaments? We have 75% that said yes and 25% that said no. All right, so what we're going to do is drop that poll question down. And if you guys have any poll questions that you think are pretty good, then make sure you drop it in the chat. And if I notice it in the chat, then I'll drop it in the poll section so we can keep things moving. All right. So let me see. Should you be able to keep the gear if it was stolen? Let's see. So if the gear was stolen, so you have, let's see, Mike Smith at home, and his trolling motor was stolen. He's like, oh man, they got me good, man. I had to go ahead and file my insurance claim, blah, blah, blah. So he gets his insurance money, and now he gets his new trolling motor. So now the game wardens come to you because you found that deal online that happened to be Mike Smith's trolling motor, and the game wardens take it. Do you think that person should be able to keep it? Should they just be able to keep it? What do you think? Should you just be able to keep stolen property? Let's just try that one out. Should you be allowed to keep stolen property? Let's say maybe they find out that the person already has it replaced through insurance or something like that. But should you be allowed to keep stolen property? This one will be kind of interesting. We'll keep it simple again with a yes and a no. But we'll put an exclamation point on the yes. Like, hey, man, it's losers, keepers, finders, weepers. I bought it, so it's mine. All right, so there we go. That next poll question is up and running. All right. And let me see. There was something that just caught my eye. Uh-oh, guys. We have to stop the show and give a big shout out to Stephen Dorsey. We have a new member of the Money Team. So if the members of the Money Team, if you could welcome him to the channel, welcome him as being a member of the channel, just drop Stephen Dorsey in the chat. Just introduce yourselves to him. So now you are a member of the Money Team. Really, really appreciate you for, stepping up and stepping in and supporting the channel. Really, really appreciate that. All right. So the poll question is, should you be allowed to keep stolen property? Yes or no? All right. So let's hop back over here and get into the article and just finish going through this article real quick, guys. Then we'll move on to the cheater part of the live stream. Right now, we're talking about some thievery. We have some thieving going on out here, guys. So that's what we're talking about. All right. So let's see. All right, so Weaver says the MITU saw the Big Bass Splash as an opportunity to inspect a large number of boats in a short amount of time. As the biggest amateur event of its kind in the state, more than 5,000 anglers entered this year's tournament. Oh my goodness. According to one person who commented on TPWD's Facebook post. All right, so let's see. Silly Outdoors, which hosted the tournament, proudly states on its website that it's provided the largest guaranteed payouts in amateur bass tournament fishing since 1984. So they're giving a little plug in there for the tournament series. And with this year's marking in the event's 40th anniversary, those payouts were impressive. Roughly 1.3 million in cash and prizes were awarded in total. And the first place finishers won a grand prize package valued at over $300,000. I think I might need to start fishing the Big Bass Splash, guys. Need to check and see when they're having one down south. Has anybody in the chat participated in one of these? I used to fish it when it was the Big Bass. It was called something else a few years back. All right, so let's see. This included a new Phoenix 21 PHX bass boat powered by a Mercury outboard and equipped with the latest electronics, along with a Ram truck and $150,000 in cash. Man, all of that sounds nice. All right, so yeah, look at all of those boats lined up. They have them just lined up going down that row. Everybody's waiting their turn to get inspected and have their gear taken off the boat. How about that? All right, the promise of a big payout drew participants from all over Texas and beyond, as the Texas and Parks Wildlife Patrol proved over the weekend. It also attracted some opportunists who might have been looking for a new target or a way to offload what they'd already stolen. Boats, ATVs, and other outdoor vehicles are often singled out by thieves because of the high price they can fetch on the used market. And thanks to third-party platforms like Facebook Marketplace, all right, think about it, guys, and Craigslist, it's now easier than ever to steal a bass boat from a ramp and sell it off quickly. Man, an entire boat just getting stolen. That just sounds crazy. All right, so we're almost finished with this article. All right, looks like we have somebody else that's stepping up and has a few things to say. So let's just read the rest of this article real quick. All right, brings up a question I've had for years. One commenter wrote on Facebook, always seeing people selling boats and trailers with no papers. Yeah, kind of interesting. All right, Weaver can't speak to an increase in the number of stolen boats in Texas in recent years, but the creation of the MITU in 2020 says something about the growing problem. So they had to create a specific department for this problem, guys. She says that over the course of 2022 and 2023, the MITU seized more than 2 million worth of stolen boats and other items. The unit is highly motivated to return stolen items to the rightful owners. That's kind of interesting, though, because depending on what was stolen, the guys may have already had it replaced through insurance. So if you had it replaced through insurance and you get that item back, how does that work? All right. And it continues to strive to better serve the citizens of Texas and their fellow Texas game wardens throughout the state. All right. So big shout out to, let's see, where did this come from? This is from Outdoor Life. So if you want to check out that article, go to outdoorlife.com, guys. All right. So let's hop back over here. We have somebody that, you know, kind of special to the channel. Let's see what he has to say. All right, big shout out to, we have Joe Winkler. How things going, guy?
Hey, MoneyBass, how you guys doing?
Hey, things are going great. How are you doing out there, running the tournaments and everything?
I'm dodging all the storms. We got rainstorms coming through right now, hail and everything else. That's just kind of the way it is in Iowa.
Oh, man.
Weather changes every day, almost seems like.
Right. Yep. It's coming through. So
but anyway, I want to share with you guys my story about my everything getting stolen. And it really goes along with what you just said, or you just asked, what does everybody think about, you know, should they be able to keep the merchandise that was stolen or whatever that they bought?
Right.
Okay. So it was back in 2005. I had a tournament on the Mississippi River that I was doing. I used to do 10 a year over there, and it's about a 2.5 hour drive. So I got home Saturday night about 10 o'clock at night. Okay. Pickup was dry. It was empty. I just backed it in 60-foot driveway, 40-foot wide, backed it in, plugged the boat in, went in the house. I was done. And about midnight, the dog was kind of bothering a little bit and got me up, and I went out on the front deck, and I looked and the boat, everything was gone. My pickup was gone and everything.
Man.
I had a reel that I plugged it in at, and it was 100-foot drop cord, and it ran clear to the end of the driveway and went to the west. Well, that means one thing: they're leaving town. I'm living out on the edge of town, so I got this figured out where they're going. So I grabbed my phone real quick, old flip phone, you know. I call them up on the phone, the police, city police. I said, just head out of town. They're heading to you'll probably catch them at Highview. That just happened. And the pickup's dry. It didn't have 5 miles. It didn't have 5 miles worth of gas in it. So I says, they're sitting alongside the highway, and I'll get dressed and I'll come down.
Okay.
And he says, well, just a second here. And there was I heard some talking in the background. And they said, well, we need you down here to fill out a report because we found your pickup and trailer.
Okay.
And your boat. Cool. This is a neat. I mean, this pickup, I'd had it 2 years. It was like a new pickup, a new Dodge Ram 1500, and the boat was a 1999 Viper with a 200 horse engine. It was a full, 21-foot boat, and the boat was absolutely immaculate, just perfect. Okay, I went down. They said, "Well, the sheriff in Fort Dodge, which is 20 miles away, where I worked at the correctional facility, and we found it, and it's on fire. The whole thing's burning.
Wait, you mean the boat and the truck that was just stolen?
Boat, pickup, and everything was on fire at a place in Fort Dodge where guys take stolen vehicles, and when they steal stuff out of them, they take them down there and burn them. It's just a place, it's one of them deals." Okay. So anyway, I'm down and out. Well, I was working nights then, Sunday night. So I went in Sunday morning early. They called me into work, and from the powerhouse where I worked at the prison, you could actually look over the hill and see the smoke trail coming up from my pickup and my boat. Man, you talk about, I was beat. I was down. Everything I had was gone.
Oh,
You got to understand it. Everything I had was gone.
right.
Okay. So anyway, we went through a big insurance deal, and I got another pickup, and I bought the Procraft that I have now. Well, my old boat's Procraft.
Okay.
And everything was fine. The next spring, I had a tournament down southern Iowa. And that's about a 4-hour drive for me. And so I was down there, and the guys called me up that won my series the year before, and they said, "Hey, we're coming. We just bought a brand new boat at a dealer there in Missouri, and we're coming back." And of course, they said they're 30 miles away. So here we go. We're going to be there for the tournament. Okay. So I told them, well, I got to send the guys, but I'll be here to check you in. Okay. So I send everybody out, and here they come in the driveway, 90 mile an hour with this new Stratus boat. It was a used boat, but
okay.
And they come walking up there, and they're signing up for the tournament. And I looked over, and man, that's a nice looking boat. And I just happened to notice the motor. And the motor was a dark gray, painted all dark gray Evinrude. Okay. Well, Stratus don't come with dark gray Evinrudes on them.
Right.
They just don't. Stratus has always had white motors. Well, this Evinrude, it was special, and it was specially built for Vipers that year. It was a 96 Viper, 200 horse, and it was special colored and everything just for that boat. Okay. Right. So I knew that wasn't the motor on the boat, and I told Mike. It was Mike and Mike was the two guys, and I know one of them like a brother. They live out of town, but I've known them for years. They fished my tournaments for a couple of years. And I said, "Do me a favor and go take the hood off of that engine." And he says, "Why?" I said, "Well, I'd always wanted to see, because they did some work on them 200s, and I wanted to see if it was fixed right before you guys take it out and blow the thing up to see what they done. I'll be right over." Okay. When this boat was brand new, when the first day I took it home, I backed it in my garage, and the garage door wasn't open all the way, and it hit the motor and broke the hood. Okay. So I ordered a brand new hood from Viper. And when they sent it, they package a hood. Back in that day, they package them with all the cardboard and bubble wrap and stuff around the outside and tape it down. And on the inside, they would take that yellow paint marker, and they would write your name and address with yellow paint marker on the inside of the hood.
Wow. Okay.
And that's how it was shipped to me.
All right.
Mike took the hood off of that boat, and he set it down on the back of the boat, and he just stared at me. He didn't say a word. He just stared at me. He seen it. And they know, I mean, everybody knew I had everything stolen. Right. And here my name and address and everything was written on the inside of that hood in yellow paint marker. Been there for years. And so he come up and he says, "Wink," he says, that's your hood. That's your motor.
Oh,
And I said, and I had a sneaking suspicion because Stratus don't come with those motors.
right. So basically, when it was stolen and they set everything on fire, at that point, what did they do with it? Was it just in the
They had
junkyard or
taken,
something?
they had, and everything, the boat was, or the pickup was completely, even the wheels were melted on the pickup. Okay.
Well, wait a minute. Did they steal the motor off of the boat?
Yes, they took a chainsaw. They took a chainsaw and ran it down the sides of the back of the boat and just cut the motor out with a chainsaw. They ran down the side of the boat to the steering, and the whole steering column and gauges was cut out of it with a chainsaw.
Wow.
And on the trolling motor, the front point of the boat, where the trolling motor was, that was also chainsawed out. But when the boat burnt, of course, it's fiberglass, so it didn't burn all the way.
Right.
So you could tell exactly what they did to take the stuff off.
Man.
Okay, so anyway, they said, "Well, what do we do?" And I said, "Well, we need to call the sheriff. I mean, we got to report this."
Right.
And they grabbed their paperwork because they had all their paper. They just came from buying this boat at Smithville Marine in Missouri, which is just across the border in Kansas City. And all the paperwork was there, the Evinrude, 1996 Evinrude with the serial number and everything. They had bought that motor evidently hot from somebody. Okay.
Gotcha.
And so anyway, I said, "You guys, you're all checked in." They paid their rent and everything. I said, "You guys get the boat in and you go, and then I'll talk to the sheriff and see what they want to do." And because they ain't going nowhere,
Right.
I mean, they're there at the tournament, and these guys I trust like a brother, And so here come the deputy sheriff, the lady. She was a lady deputy sheriff, and I told her about it, and I explained everything to her, that the year before I had everything, and I explained everything to her, and she said, "Okay." She said, "Well, I need to take pictures of this." So when the guys in the tournament lasted till 3:30 in the afternoon. And I said, "Well, what we'll do is you just be in the back of the parking lot because I don't want to cause a big stir." I said, "These guys will come in and we'll do the weigh-in, and me and them will be the last ones in the parking lot, and then we'll take pictures.
Right.
And you can get an interview from them." And so we did that, and everything was fine. And so on my way home, I called my insurance adjuster, and I told him about it. I said, "Hey, you're going to be getting a call." And I gave the lady their number and everything. And you ain't going to believe this. You ain't going to believe it. What's going on here? And so them guys to date, they own the boat 6 years. Nobody had ever contacted them. Nobody had ever mentioned a word about it. And they ran that boat until they bought, well, in fact, the next boat I bought with insurance money was a 1996 Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they actually bought my Ranger from me. They traded that boat in or sold that boat, and they actually bought my Ranger. And then they had that in fact, I think they still have it. I think they quit fishing tournaments a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody had ever contacted them after that day.
Wow, so they got to keep the motor and everything.
Yeah, they got to keep the motor and everything.
Wow. Okay,
I've never heard anything from the insurance company. We never heard from the deputy's office or anything about it. It was just plain nuts. That was a crazy deal.
Man, well, I guess that answers that question, guys. So was that the actual, was that the poll question? So that was, yes. So that was hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. I actually forgot to launch the poll question. So that poll is live and in action. So you guys can answer it now. I thought it was already up there. Oh, actually, hold on just a second. I'm messing up, guys. Just bear with me. Let me see. Did I get it going? All right. So should you be allowed to keep stolen property? So in this case, we see where it actually was true that they did get to keep the stolen property. But
Yeah, they kept everything.
all right,
On the motor, and it ran great. That boat was fast. That was it was nice. That Viper that broke my heart. That was a nice boat.
So whenever you saw your motor, at least it wasn't a situation where somebody actually.
I remember that. That was the worst thing. And they came to every tournament. They won my series the year before. Right. They actually won my series the year before. Yeah.
But and what I was going to say real quick is at least it wasn't someone trying to sell you your motor.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that would have been something.
Oh yeah.
We might have had to have a little more to talk to before we called the cops on that one.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So did you want your motor back?
No, hell no. Okay, I had a Ranger. I bought a Ranger and it had a 200 horse Mercury on it.
Okay, so you were good.
It was a really nice boat, and I was, after dealing with that insurance company, and trust me, I really came out really good on it. But like you said, I had pictures of all my tackle boxes out on the deck, my fish poles I had, but they were old. They were 2 years old before the boat was stolen. Mm-hmm. So I had a lot more poles. I think there was insurance. I had pictures of like 8 poles or 9, and I think I had like 18 in it at the time. It was 2 years later. But the insurance company, they just said, you got pictures of this much, you just write down what you had.
Gotcha.
That was it. You just write down what you had, and they covered it. But I mean, it's what it is. I love the boat, and that was the best pickup I ever owned, for sure. I just love the truck. Got good fuel mileage for a 4-wheel drive. And it was like, I bought it new. I think it was like, well, it was a 90 or no. It was a 2001. It was a 2001. So it was 4 years old, by the time they stole it. And I've been, that's what it was. But
man,
it took almost 3 months to get another boat, more tackle, everything replaced. That is the biggest hassle and they did well. I was real happy with the insurance company, but it just, everything took time,
Right, that inconvenience of it all, yeah.
Heck, I went to Oklahoma twice looking at boats, and never buy a boat from anybody from Oklahoma, because the pictures are when the boat was new, and it's 10 years later and there ain't no paint left on them. There ain't no gel coat left. That. So don't ever buy a boat from anybody, unless it's a year or so old. Don't do it.
You're gonna have the Oklahoma crew after you.
Yeah, I know that. Everybody's on me.
Oh goodness.
So anyway, that's my stolen. Except for just a year ago, I had a flat tire on my boat trailer heading back down south, same lake, down to 3 Mile. I was heading back down, and I had a flat tire. Okay, and I took the spare off, and it was low. Okay, real low. And I was like 15 miles from the nearest town. So I just took it and unhooked the boat. And this is 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. And I ran it into town, the gas station there, the Quick Star or whatever it was, blew the tire up hard, went back, and somebody had been there. And on my dash of my Procraft, and they literally ripped the dash right out of the boat, but they couldn't get with all the cables. I don't know if they seen me coming down the road and they took off or whatever.
Right.
But they couldn't get the cables unhooked from the depth finder, but they broke the screen on the depth finder and everything, and they ripped the dash right out of the boat. And it couldn't have been 20 minutes at that time in the morning. And I never seen a single vehicle coming my way on my way back. So they evidently came from the way I came from and then went back the same way.
Wow.
But I had these locks on the knobs that would lock it in so you can't steal it.
Right.
So they ripped the frickin' dash right out of it. They tore that thing. It was and everything still worked, but the screen was broke on my. It had I think I had a 10-inch Garmin on it then, but yeah, ripped the dash right out of the boat trying to get that off of there.
Man.
But that was on the highway fixing the tire. Man, at least they could have done stuck around and said somebody else did it and helped me change my tire.
Yeah, man.
But since they couldn't get the graph off.
Right.
But yeah, that's my story. But anyway, I gotta have a cheap deal here. The biggest tournament of the year is this year at Okoboji on this Saturday.
Okay.
So if you want to come in, you want to come up to Iowa and stay with me here, I'll put you in the tournament.
That's kind of a long ride but actually this weekend I'll be at Lake Chickamauga. I'll be out there.
Man, yeah.
I got to get out there and get that 7-pounder I've been telling you guys about.
Oh, the tournament last Saturday at this lake, Okoboji, took 3160 to win. And there was, the big bass was I think it was 860 was the big bass. There were several 7s and 6s. There was, I think there was 5 teams that were over 24 pounds.
Man.
That didn't get no money.
Oh my goodness.
Didn't get no money. Man, that'll keep you up at night. Catch 25-pound bag and you don't get no money.
Oh,
that'll keep you up at night.
That'll hurt your feelings pretty bad right there.
But it's right at the very beginning of the spawn. The fish are all gathering up, and it's blue water, it's Hawaiian water, blue clear water, and I'll tell you what, them Seville slow sinkers, they're gonna put me in the money this weekend.
Okay. So that's the Lanier Bates, the hard swimmer, right? There we go. Okay,
yeah,
right.
they're gonna work there because they got shad in there and I mean, it's a 2,500-pound. 4 lakes are all hooked together deal, but and it's a natural lake. It's 100-foot deep type deal.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, definitely make sure you come back and give us an update. Let us know how that tournament season is going.
Well, I'm gonna try, and I don't know if I'm gonna get it or not, but I'm gonna try to do a live weigh-in. So Saturday at between 3 and 4 o'clock, watch for iBass Series tournaments on Facebook because I'm going to do a live weigh-in, I think.
All right.
Chase, my grandson says, yeah, he can get it figured out, and so that's kind of the deal now. So, and you can see it'll be 30 pounds to win. I'll guarantee it.
Yeah, and make sure you drop that once I drop you down. Just put that in the chat so that way we can pull it up and take a look at it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So anyway, I'll let you guys go. I'm out in the shop now. I'm sitting in the boat. I put in a couple lithium batteries up front for the electronics, and I'm just tying it in because it'll be the lake gets kind of rough sometimes, so I better tie them down. But I'd been hooking stuff up, making sure everything worked before I drilled any holes, and that's just how it goes.
All right. So you're ready to roll. So yeah,
you guys have a good evening.
All right. Yeah, really appreciate it. All right. So that was Joe Winkler, guys. Really, really appreciate it. Very strong supporter of the channel. He'll be out there this weekend doing his thing. Just drop this down real quick. There we go. All right. So yeah, big shout out to Joe Winkler once again. Man, that was a crazy story. Man, what would you do if you were at a tournament? Not only at a tournament, but you're hosting the tournament and someone shows up with your stolen boat or your stolen motor. Oh man, the only thing that could be worse is if they were trying to sell it to you. Man, yeah, that would be pretty ugly right there, man. All right, so now, I mean, we talked about that topic. I think we covered a lot on that. But should you be allowed, back over to the poll question, should you be allowed to keep stolen property? We have 82% that says no. We have 4% that says, oh yeah, I'm going to keep it. It's mine's. You got to put an S on the end. It's mine's. I bought it. I bought my stolen stuff. It's mine's. Then we have 14% that said, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. All right. So that's a good one, guys. All right. So now what we are going to do is slide into the second part of the live stream. So the title of tonight's live stream was Cheaters and Thieves. They're getting busted out there. Joe Winkler told us how those thieves got busted. But actually, they weren't even the thieves. They were the ones that just happened to actually buy it. But now let's just slide into this part about the cheating that's going on out here. Now, this one is a little different. The next poll, let's go ahead and drop this poll down. Should you be allowed to keep stolen property? We have 77% that says no. It inched up a little bit. 6% that says, oh yeah, I'm keeping it. It's mine. And 16% said maybe. So let's end that one. This next poll, to go along with this next topic, is I want to know, have you ever fished a crappie tournament? A crappie, crappie fishermen are out here doing their thing. So let's see. Have you ever fished a crappie, independent where you're from, crappie, I know, tournament? And we're going to keep it simple with a yes and a no. And if you have, in the chat, just drop a few of the details about how the crappie tournaments work. I know, do they have a 7-fish limit, a 10-fish limit, a 5-fish limit? Some of them, I think you're able to keep 7 fish in the live well. And that poll question is live and in action now. I know some of you can keep 7 in the live well, but you bring in 5 to the weigh-in. And can you bring in dead fish? Just want to know a little bit about crappie tournaments. And the reason why is because, let me just bring this up real quick. Going to share my screen. Once again, this is a live show, guys. All right, so where are we at? Where are we at? Okay, here we go. All right, so this is what we're taking a look at now, guys. Can you see it? Bam, there we go. Investigation reveals Kansas record crappie was stuffed with ball bearings. What are we talking about? What is going on here? But before we get to that, I have to stop the show. We have Joe Winkler. I mean, he came up and told us that amazing story. And look at that. He followed it up with a $20 super chat. He was like, hey, I'm having some fun with this one. Let me hop in here and support the show. And what that means, guys, is I need to hop in here and do a little work. All right, so if you take a look, that banner at the bottom of the screen, special shout out to Crush It Jail. They were the sponsor of the live stream, but Joe Winkler said, hey, hold up, swole up. I want to hop in on some of this action. So Joe Winkler has hit the channel with the $20 super chat and has become the sponsor of the live stream. And what does Joe Winkler have to say? Let's see. There we go. The banner scrolling at the bottom. Special thank you so much to the sponsor of the live stream, Joe Winkler, with iBass Series tournaments on Facebook. So make sure you guys go to Facebook. He's going to do a live weigh-in at 3 p.m. I will actually be at my own weigh-in around 3 or 4 p.m. on this Saturday and Sunday. It's a 2-day tournament at Lake Chickamauga. But Joe Winkler is having his own series that he hosts. I9 Bass Series tournaments on Facebook, Saturday at 3 p.m., the live weigh-in. Make sure you guys check that out. It'll be pretty interesting to see Joe Winkler out there in action. All right. Really, really appreciate that. All right, so let's see. What else do we have going on? What else do we have going on, guys? All right, so let me pull this back up real quick. So there we go. Investigation reveals Kansas record crappie was stuffed with ball bearings. Look at this picture, guys. Do you see the picture? Oh my goodness. They did an x-ray on the fish. It's getting kind of high tech out here. It's getting kind of crazy. It's getting out of line. Wow. And what did CT say? Don't forget the like button. Could you hit the like button for me, guys? I see a few more people checking in. Some people, maybe you're new to the show, but if you could, just hit the like button on your way in. I really, really appreciate it. And also, I will drop the call-in link. Let me go ahead and drop that again because we're at that, at that time in the show where I can go ahead and drop that call-in link. If there's something that you hear that you want to chime in and drop your thoughts, suggestions, opinions about, just hit that call-in link. I will pull you up on the screen. Just make sure you are cammed up, meaning that your camera is on, and we'll do a quick sound check. I'll bring you up and see what you have to say. All right, so now take a look at what we have here. What do we have here? We have a fish with some ball bearings in it. Look at the skeletal system. Look at the backbone. Look at the rib cage. Look at the ball bearings. Look at what we have inside of this fish. What kind of craziness is going on, guys? Who does this? Who does this? All right, before we get into this, let's go ahead and change the poll question real quick. So the current poll question is, have you ever fished a crappie tournament? We have 93% are saying no, they have not. I have never fished a crappie tournament, but it seems kind of interesting. So did someone drop in the chat how those rules work? Do you bring in a 5-fish limit with crappie tournaments? Is it a 7-fish limit? How does that work? All right, big shout out to Rick. Rick checking in. What's going on? He says, yo, what's going on, MoneyBass? Hey, man, we're in here doing our thing. We're on the, the second segment of the show, guys. We're going to have some fun with this one. So take a look at the picture. We see the skeletal system of a crappie right there. Let's blow it up a little bit. You see the skeletal system. Check out the bone. Check out the rib cage. Check out the teeth. Check out the curvature of the mouth. And check out the ball bearings. Oh, my goodness. Stop the show. We have ball bearings in fish. We have ball bearings in fish, guys. So let me just check down here in the chat real quick. And then we'll hop right into this article to see what you guys think about it. I'm just looking to see if anybody has fished a crappie tournament. Oh, okay. Wait a second. What do we have right here?
Yes, sir.
Chasing a bass says it's Soccer Lake, man. What's he talking about, crappie? It's called Soccer Lake. All right. I got you. All right, let's see what else you guys are talking about in here. I'm just trying to see, does anybody know how some of the details of a crappie tournament work? All right, what does the burning season say? The burning season says, not their fault. The crappie ate the bearings. Oh, my goodness. The crappie ate it. It was hungry. It just happened to find some ball bearings. Or maybe not. We're going to see. We're going to see something in just a second that will kind of explain what happened here. Now, this one's going to be very interesting, guys. All right, let's see what else you guys are talking about in here. All right. Any crappie fisherman in here dropping some information for us? All right. Eat Squawk says, give me some Bobby Garlands and I'd be in heaven. Why would you do that to a crappie? Some people. Oh my goodness. Yeah, man. It's some crazy things happen out here. Shout out to Crush It Jail. All right. The burning season says, why wouldn't you just shove bait fish in the mouth? Why are people so dumb? Hey, I mean, somebody did shove some cut up fillets in some walleye. So, hey, I mean, they still got caught. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. And it's going to be so embarrassing. Man, it's going to be so, how do you explain it to your kids? How do you go home and tell your wife, like, hey, things didn't go quite well out there on the lake? Or you don't say anything and then she just sees it in the paper or something. It's ugly. It's ugly, guys. All right, so let's see. What are you guys talking about? All right, Corey says, man, that's wild. All right, Krusty Jill says, CT, knock it. Don't knock it till you try it. All right, let's see what else you guys are talking about. Krusty Jill says, that crappie got some balls. Oh, yeah, it has 2 of them right there, right in the gut. 2 ball bearings right there in the gut. All right, so let's drop this down, guys, and let's take a look at this article and see what they were talking about. All right, so here we go. Let me get back to it. So, investigation reveals Kansas wrecked crappie was stuffed with ball bearings. Oh, my goodness. The Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks has released new information about the state record crappie that was seized and stricken from the record in November. Man, it's kind of ugly out here, guys. What is going on? What are you doing out here, guys? What are you doing? All right, let's scroll down a little bit more. See what actually happened with this story right here. Pull it up so you guys can read along. Man, but look at the skeletal structure. There we go. A nice big old crappie with ball bearings inside. Earlier this month, an angler in Kansas railed against law enforcement officials for seizing. Oh, man, he was mad. He was upset for seizing his 2023 state record crappie, claiming he caught the fish legally and honestly. Okay, you caught it legally and honestly. Okay, we believe you. We believe you. All right, let's see. He says, now details of the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks investigation obtained by Outdoor Life on Friday revealed that the angler, are they dropping names? Bobby Parkhurst. Does anybody know Bobby? What are you doing, Bobby? Appeals to have tried to cheat his way into the record book. Come on, Bobby. Say it ain't so. The state record saga began on March 5th, 2023, when Parkhurst caught a slab white crappie from a small public reservoir in Manhattan. A statement from KDWP details how Parker first weighed his fish at one bait shop. He first weighed his fish at one bait shop where it fell short of breaking the state record. So what do you think Bobby did? What did you do, Bobby? Parkhurst then apparently stuffed the fish with ball bearings before visiting another certified scale to obtain the heavier weight of 4.07 pounds that initially qualified it as a state record. Investigators proved this by x-raying the crappie after seizing it from Parker's home in April of 2023. Man, Bobby thought he was going to get away with it. What is going on? Oh my goodness, you guys are getting crazy in the chat. What did I tell you about the chat, guys? The chat, this is the best chat on YouTube. I appreciate everybody for tuning in and getting active. Every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, make sure you share the link. Let your friends know so they can hop in here and see some of the craziness that you guys are talking about in the chat. All right. When staff used a handheld metal detector to scan the fish, the device detected the presence of metal. And guess what?
Yes, sir.
We actually scanned the fish at our tournament that we had this weekend. We scanned those fish for through a metal detector, guys. And we give lie detector tests. So we're making sure we're keeping our eyes on you. Oh yeah, let me change it up a little bit. We're keeping our eyes on you. We're watching you. We're checking for ball bearings and fish. Oh yeah, we're looking for it, guys. All right, so let's see what else we had to say. All right, let me see. All right, when staff used a handheld metal detector to scan the fish, the device detected the presence of metal. KDWP Public Information Officer Nadia Margie wrote in an email to Outdoor Life. Wardens then took the fish to Topeka Zoo for x-ray examination, where it was revealed that 2 steel ball bearings were inside of the crappie. What is going on, Bobby? What are you doing? All right, let me see. Margie confirms that wildlife officers began investigating Parkhurst on April 9th, just 5 days before the agency certified Parkhurst white crappie as a new state record with a weight of 4.07 pounds. Oh, man, this is ugly. Investigators were acting on a tip from a bait shop owner who says he weighed Parkhurst crappie on March 5th. Oh, man, what are you doing, Bobby? Let me see. I remember that day like it was yesterday. Now, this is the bait shop owner. I remember that day like it was yesterday, says the bait shop owner, who spoke with Outdoor Life on the condition of anonymity. It's a big word right there with a few letters. If it was a state record, I would have taken a picture of it. Typically, when that happens, I have to fill out paperwork, measure the fish, and check the weight. I actually have to give the angler the serial number off my scale. Okay, so they're making it official. That was not done on this fish. So that owner was like, hey, that bait shop owner was like, hey, this sounds kind of fishy. This fish is kind of fishy. What's going on here? What's going on off in here, guys? None of these things were done because, as KDWP confirms, Parkhurst crappie weighed just 3.73 pounds on the bait shop owner's certified scale. This is why the shop owner was so suspicious when, in early April, he saw that the exact same fish had been declared a new Kansas state record crappie with a certified weight of 4.07 pounds. Oh, my goodness, guys. Not only are our tournaments not safe, our boats aren't safe, our trailers aren't safe, our state records aren't even safe. Oh, what is this fishing thing coming to, guys? Is nothing sacred? Not even the state records? If he did this and almost got away with it, has somebody done this and actually got away with it? All right, what else do they have to say? Now, that's a discrepancy, the shop owner says. And there we go. Look at the fish. The fish is like, oh, my stomach is hurting. Can you help me, doc? My stomach just doesn't feel right. Do you see the little bulge in the stomach? You know, right below my esophagus. It's kind of bothering me. There's something in there that shouldn't be in there. All right, so let's see. KWP's Assistant Director of Fisheries, John rank inspected the fish after the second weighing. So after the second weighing, man, after the mandatory 30-day waiting period was complete, the agency made Parkhurst's record official on April 4th. So Bobby is like, hey, man, I did it. You know what I'm saying? I'm famous. You know, I'm famous. You know, I did it. I think I did. I think I got away with it. The Crappie edged out the previous record of 4.02 pounds that had stood since 1964. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. As fisheries biologists, we get the chance to see a lot of big fish, but this one is certainly for the books. Rink said of Parkhurst's record-breaking crappie at the time. This crappie measured in at 18 inches long and 14 inches in girth. So it truly deserves a spot on the state record list, or so he thought. Sometime around or before April 20th, Parkhurst told reporters earlier this month, game wardens came to his home and seized the crappie from his freezer. Bobby, what are you doing with the crappie still in your freezer? What are you doing? What is Bobby thinking? All right, let's see. What does the burning season say? I think if I caught a state record, I wouldn't even turn it in. Wouldn't want to expose the lake. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people that are saying that. They're like, yeah, I wouldn't want people to come and, you know, just kind of fish it to death and just run all the fish out of it. All right, so let's see. What else did they have to say? The agency statement also makes it clear that Parkhurst voluntarily presented his fish for re-examination. And when officials re-examined the fish, the numbers didn't quite add up. Oh, no. It's not looking good for you, Bobby. Investigators first inspected the 2 certified scales where Parkhurst weighed the fish. Although KDWP did not provide the name of the second location where the fish was weighed. Wildlife and Parks brought the Department of Agriculture in, and they actually checked my scale, says the bait shop owner who tipped off the agency in April. It came up perfect. So he was like, oh, yeah, this fish is definitely fishy. Uh-oh, Bobby didn't like it. Look what Bobby had to say, guys. Let me blow it up for you. What is Bobby talking about? Bobby's like, I'm mad. You're doing me wrong. You're doing me dirty. Bobby said, I caught that fish legally and honestly. These officers are bullies and don't need to be game wardens. They're just bullies, guys. They're dishonest. I went through all the bells and whistles as I was supposed to do. They certified and gave me the Master Angler Award. I waited 30 days that they, by law, have to wait for all this investigation to be done. So Bobby is like, hey, guys, you didn't catch me within 30 days, so it's mine. It's mine's. We got to throw an S on the end of it again, guys. It's mine's. The record is mine's. That's my fish. These officers came to my house unlawfully and took my fish after the KDWP announced me the state record holder. Hey, guys, yeah, hey, you found the bearings too late. 30 days was over. They have now slandered my name. I've been slandered out here is what Bobby is saying. The officers are dishonest and should be held accountable. Bobby is mad. Why did you do this to Bobby? Let's see. What else did they have to say? On November 14th, KDWP updated its press release saying Parkhurst crappie could not be confirmed and that the previous white crappie record set in 1964 still stands. Oh, Bobby must have been heated. I weighed a lot of people's fish, so when they bring them here, I do my part, says the bait shop owner. But I don't lie for nobody. He's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm an honest man over here making an honest day's pay at my bait shop. So don't bring your ball-bearing fish into my bait shop thinking that you're going to get away with it, because I'm going to report you. All right, so that shop owner is not playing. KWP's investigation concluded that the crappie had been tampered with in the time before when Parkhurst weighed it at the bait shop and when he had it reweighed at the second location within the state. Man, what is going on here? What is going on here, guys? All right, so let's change this view up a little bit. And let's finish this out real quick before we see what you guys have to say. As a result, the agency's emailed statement reads, the department nullified the angler's catch as a state record, reinstated the previous record, Miller, 1964, and have since made the fish available for return to the angler. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Oh, no. So they say, here, Bobby, Take your fish back. Oh no, why did they throw Bobby's fish? They say, here, Bobby, come and get this fish. Take this fish back. You're not getting any type of reward for this. Margie says that Parkhurst plans to reclaim his Crappie from the agency Friday. She also confirmed that although KDWP submitted its case against Parkhurst to the local county attorney's office, why are they doing that? The attorney has declined to prosecute. Oh my goodness.
Yes, sir.
Prosecution. They declined to prosecute the angler. What do you guys think about that? Should you be prosecuted for attempting to steal? That's some thievery going on. I guess it was some cheating and some thievery with this. Allegedly. All right. Public court records show that Parkhurst has been implicated in several criminal cases and charged with at least 5 felonies in Kansas since 2019. What? Most recently, he was convicted of 1 felony count of identity theft in October and sentenced to 18 months probation on February 8th. Wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute. Parkhurst has been implicated in several criminal cases and charged with at least 5 felonies in Kansas since 2019. Why? What is going on out here, guys? So that's it. That's all she wrote. What do you guys think? We have some, what is the title of tonight's live stream? Cheaters and thieves. We have some cheatery and some thievery going on around here out here in these YouTube streets. What is it coming to? Is this what fishing is? Is this really what fishing has come to, guys? Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. Shout out to Crush It Jail. Crush It Jail says, MoneyBass, we have a care package to send to you, but can't find the address to send it to. Let me just check real quick. The link should be the address and the contact information. All of that should be. And actually, I see that it is not in the description. What I'll do is I will update the description after the live stream. So that way, if you need to send something, you can drop it in the mail to the address that is in the description. Always make sure you check the links in the descriptions, guys. I always make sure I put some very pertinent and helpful information in there. One of the things that I did put in there based on our first segment of the live stream is that there are items out there that you can purchase to help prevent thievery from going on with your boat and your equipment. So just click those links. I did take the time to put that information in there so that you wouldn't have to search for it. So make sure you click those links. Let me know if it helps you out. Max said, Democrats steal one election and it all goes to hell. Oh my goodness. Everybody's stealing everything. Everything's being stolen out here. Can you get something that just isn't stolen? What's going on, Jeremy? Big shout out to Jeremy. Jeremy says, MoneyBass, don't do it. They coming to get that Z20. Oh man, don't hurt me, Jeremy. Don't let them do it to me. Oh my goodness. Things are kind of crazy out here. All right, let's hop back over here and check this poll because I want to see what this poll question was. Have you ever fished a crappie tournament? We have 89% that said no. So now let's change this up. Did anybody put the how the crappie tournaments work? Is it a 5 fish limit on crappie? Can you keep 7 in your live well and you bring 5 to the scale? How does that work? If somebody could just drop some information about some crappie tournament fishing in the chat. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to drop another poll in here. Now, I'm interested in this one because let's see, what did he have? What did they say that good old Bobby had done? They said Bobby was implicated in several criminal cases and charged with at least 5 felonies since 2019. Most recently, he was convicted of 1 felony count of identity theft in October and sentenced to 18 months probation. All right. So now this is the question, guys. Let's say you know, similar to Joe Winkler, have your own tournament series. You are the tournament director or the host. You run the tournament. Would you allow somebody that has a record like that to fish your tournament? What do you think? So let me just put that. This is going to be the next poll question. So he was actually convicted. So if convicted of, and let's just call it fraud or theft. So you already know they're a thief. They have some thievery going on. They have some fraudulation. They've been fraudulicious out here in these tournament streets. If convicted of fraud or theft, would you allow them to fish your tournament? And again, this is if you are hosting it, not just you're fishing it, but you are the tournament director, the host of the tournament. Would you allow them to fish your tournament? So we're going to go with yes, and we're going to go with no. Or should we say hell's no?
Yes, sir.
How about we say that hell's no, I wouldn't let them fish it. All right, so we have yes and we have no. All right, so that poll is live and in action. Like I said, this is a very interactive channel, guys. Let me drop this call-in link again before we head out of here. So we got the call-in link. The call-in link is live and in action. If you want to hit that call-in link, what it does is it will bring you up here on the screen. It will allow me to let you speak to the peoples and voice your thoughts and opinions on the topic. But before we do that, let's give a big shout out to Stephen Dorsey, new member of the Money Team. Really, really appreciate you for tuning in and stepping up and becoming a member of the Money Team, which is a member of the channel. If any of you are not a member of the channel and are interested in supporting the channel, make sure you click the join button down below. It will give you some information along with some perks that come along with being a member of the channel. All right, so really, really appreciate that, Stephen Dorsey. And, you know, you got the warm welcome a little earlier from the Money Team. All right, and big, big shout out to the sponsor of tonight's live stream. We had Joe Winkler step in with some things to say about his tournament series, which was kind of interesting. It was kind of interesting. All right, so you guys are getting active. Continue to get active on the poll. We have somebody that, you know, has popped in the backstage, has a few things to say about the live stream. All right, but if convicted of fraud or theft, would you allow them to fish your tournament? So somebody comes and they're fishing your tournament and you know a little about their history and they've been convicted of fraud or theft. We have 7% that says yes. I want to hear from some of the yes people in the chat, or if you know, if you want to hop in and hit the if you want to hit the call in link, please come up. I want to hear from you. If you would allow, we have 7% are saying that they would let a convicted fraudulator, they've been fraudulicious out here in these tournament streets, and they've been doing some theftification. You know, I have to add a little bit onto it. They've been out here thieving and fraudulating in these tournament streets, and they would allow them to fish it. We have, wait a minute. It just jumped to 13%. Said, oh, yeah, they can still fish with me. Come on over here, felons. You're welcome. You're welcome over here to fish with us. Just don't try to do some fraudulation while you're over here. All right. All right, let's see. Wait a second. Let's see. The burning season. What do you have to say? Burning season says, money. Why is taking a cast with 6 fish in the box a 2-pound penalty, but blowing a no wake is a time delay with the elites? Shouldn't a safety infraction be more severe? Yeah, I think if you're putting some lives on the line, I think that should be more severe. If you do it purposely, like what we witnessed in a previous situation, I think doing something like that purposely, that should, yeah, you might need to go and fish out of the a pay pond after that, because yeah, the tournament thing may not be for that type of person. All right. All right, Eat Squawk says those saying yes are probably the ones cheating and stealing. So Eat Squawk is saying 13% of you out here cheating and stealing. You're doing some thievery. That's why you're like, hey, yeah, I'll let felons fish my own tournament. But yeah, if you said yes to that, hit the call-in link. I want to hear from you. It'd be pretty interesting. Nice, interesting conversation. All right, so let's see. We have somebody that has some things to say. Who might this be? Back once again, we have the man himself, Mr. CT. What is going on?
Why you got to get me so wound up? Dang it, I got to try to sleep tonight. Oh, man. Yeah, like first on the records thing, man, there is like widespread fraud in so many states when it comes to records. So many of them have records chasing. Of course, like California was the first to really kick it off with the trophy bass and the big swim baits. way on back, and then you had all your big instances out there. And then other states, it's just the Wild West if anything goes.
Mm-hmm.
But when you were talking about this particular story, what tipped me off is I myself have a couple of lake records and a couple of state records.
Uh-oh.
And what got me was when the one bait shop owner was talking about the serial number on his scale.
Mm-hmm.
Bingo. That's it. Now, if the person would have said to him, man, I still think it's close enough, I'm going to go try it on another scale, and would have actually verbalized that, the guy might have not have thought anything of it.
Right.
But normally, whatever agricultural department or whatever is your state's governing body over weights and measures, they're going to be the ones that certify those scales. Hence the reason the weight has to be done on a certified scale.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why some states you have to get a game warden out there. Game wardens will travel with them. Some bait shops, like in this instance, have a certified scale where you have to get like the certification number and or the serial number off the scale. So yeah, that's a big tip. But man, records, dude, the fraud in them just runs rampant. Back in the day, there was one particular guy, and then there became two, that basically sought to try to get every fish on the green earth that didn't have a record certified for it yet, which is not so much a problem, and kick it off by getting a record for it, no matter how small the fish was.
Right.
And in some instances, we're talking log perch. And if you're not familiar with what a log perch is, they're like the size of maybe a large minnow.
Okay.
Like seriously. And they're using like size 22 hooks. You don't really target them. Let's just say for them to mysteriously end up on a hook, shady. Real shady.
Right.
The only time I've ever seen one in person was coughed up out of a white bass that he had just gorged on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's some shady stuff going on out there. Now, as far as the cheating is concerned, as you know, so many tournament directors have, well, many tournaments in general have the final say as to whether someone's allowed to fish their tournament. No one has the legal right to demand to fish a tournament.
You said the legal right to demand, what is it again?
Legal right to demand to fish a tournament. Like if the TD says, we don't want you, or the organizers say, we don't want you, it's a done deal.
Gotcha.
And so these folks that have had these reputation, people keep lists, and it's always just a phone call away. Like when folks would get busted around my parts, these tournament organizers would be on the phone with other tournament organizers, kind of, keeping a list. And that would be the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
So no. And as far as folks saying that, yeah, they would allow somebody that has cheated before to fish the tournament, that's why they don't run tournaments. I mean, I guarantee you they don't run tournaments.
But listen, you don't know. You don't know.
If they do, please speak up so everyone else can avoid them. Please put that neon sign up there and say, do not fish my trail. I allow all kinds of sketch. Let everybody know it's Sketchville. Because people will run. They will not want to fish there.
Okay.
I mean, just ask the Walleye boys, Rodney and Kaminsky. Just ask how well that worked out for them. I mean, they end up one of them end up having to pass fake $100 bills at the bowling alley with his kid.
Oh.
I mean, that ain't legend. That happened. Both got it. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's all kinds of shadiness, man. Records are a big thing. And when you showed the picture of that crappie, I'm like, that ain't 4 pounds. I've seen one 4 pounds. Don't get me wrong. It was a good crappie, real good crappie.
Yeah.
But man, a 4 pound crappie, Man, they're hard to come by. I've only seen a handful in all my days, and I've been lucky to get one.
Check
But
out the skeletal system. The skeletal.
it's a big crappie, no question. It's a huge crappie.
Look at the vertebrae, the backbone, the strong cheekbones and jawline.
Oh yeah, it's a baby shark, no doubt about it. I mean, those ball bearings, man. That's just messed up. That's just messed up. Now, and this is kind of an inside joke amongst the chat. I wonder if that fish consented to the search of its belly. I wonder if that was an invasion of that fish's privacy to have its privates x-rayed for the purposes of finding out whether it was carrying some extra luggage.
I mean, it kind of looks like, if you look close enough, it kind of looks like it's calling out for help. It's like, hey, I need some assistance over here. You see his eyes? He's like, hey, buddy. He's trying to get
Man, see, but in all seriousness, though, does it suck for the dude that it wasn't a record? Yes. But that's a big crappie. He should have been happy with it. That's a huge crappie. I mean, there's no question. It's a big, beautiful fish on its own. But for how much weight did you say it gained between the two? Between the two scales?
It was 373, and he added, and it went to 4.07.
So a quarter of an ounce?
Yeah.
No, quarter of a pound. Oh, no. No.
Oh, yeah.
Quarter of a pound. Oh.
So those were some big bearings that he put in.
It ain't getting, no. You may have a couple of scales. And the other thing, too, for weights and measures, it depends on the kind of scale that it is, whether it has, or what kind of tolerances are allowed.
Mm-hmm.
And usually tolerances of a couple of thousandths are more than okay. Like you can still get a scale certified with that. But that much? No, man. No. You said like 3 3/4 roughly to 4?
Right. 3.73 to 4.07.
No,
so
man.
That is what point?
Ballpark of 4 ounces.
Yeah.
That's no. No. His scale wouldn't be certified. And like they said, they come back and did a measurement on that scale. Yeah, done deal. Game over.
Man.
Between that and the x-ray. Now, I'm going to commend, you said this was what state did you say? New York, was it?
Was it a New Yorker? A New Yorker? I'm trying to do a New York accent. That wasn't too good.
The wife's saying no, so I'm probably wrong.
Did they say something about Manhattan or something like that? I'm not sure.
I thought I remember saying something like that.
No, it was Kansas, I think.
Kansas?
Yeah, yeah, Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks, yeah.
You know what? I'm going to give props to Kansas, because by taking it to the zoo and doing the x-ray, that's above and beyond. The only way it doesn't work is in states where you're really trying to keep a good catch and release population. Because portable x-ray equipment is hard to come by. But, that's the only thing I can say to that. Like, in other words, I hate to not see big fish like that released back, even if they are I don't say lesser non-game fish, because there's really not such a thing. But crappie are more obviously table fare for a lot of people, and that's fine. But I would like to see a behemoth like that returned alive, and that's the only trick. But props to them still, though, for doing the x-rays. I mean, can't fault them for that. That's a lot of other states would be nice to adopt that.
Right. All right, man. Well, look, we're rolling. We're rolling. I've been up going for about an hour and 54 minutes. So I appreciate you coming up, sir. You always have some insightful information. Really, really appreciate it.
No worries, man. Take good care, my friend.
All right, everybody. Check out Cerebral Tackle. Really appreciate you for coming up. That is CT, guys. He does his thing on YouTube. Make sure you check him out. But man, take a look at it. Take a look at the skeletal structure. The fish was famous for just a few months. And then Bobby, good old Bobby, he became famous for, seems like it might be a good little while. Oh man, what is it coming to, guys? What is coming? What is fishing coming to? All right, so Max says a tournament would have to do background checks on all entries to even know if someone is a felon. I'm not doing a background check to fish a bass tournament. Let's see. Actually, hold on. Let's just take a look real quick. You know, nowadays we can do our own searches. So how about we see how good old Bobby is doing? Let's see. What I'm doing, for anyone who doesn't know, is I'm just doing a quick search on Bobby Packhurst mugshot. Let's see. Oh man. Are there some images? Uh-oh, is that Bobby? Bobby, is that you that comes up when we search a mugshot? Hey, I mean, there's ways to figure things out nowadays. The internet is kind of crazy. All right, let's see. The burning season says, people like these idiots are why I have to fizz bash in the summer in tourneys instead of doing CW&R. Catch 'em, wait, and release. All right. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things going on here out here, guys. Do you believe it? Can you believe it? All right, I want to give a big shout out to the sponsor of tonight's live stream, Joe Winkler. Really appreciate it. Hit the channel with the $20 super chat. This channel is supported by you guys, the viewers, and people who just stop by every once in a while to see what is MoneyBass talking about over there. He always talks about something crazy, some craziness going on. The other thing, guys, make sure you check the links in the description. Earlier, we talked about some thievery going on. And if you want to protect yourself from those thieves, I have compiled a few items that may help you out. So make sure you click the link and just check out those items that I have put in there. I took a little bit of time so that you wouldn't have to, take that time to find those items. The other thing, guys, I have a deal on some sunglasses. These are solar bat sunglasses. And if you take a look right above my shoulder, see that Air Force logo. And if you take a look on those solar back glasses, you see the Air Force logo. So these are a special military edition. So if you are a veteran or military, ex-military, however you want to look at it, you can get a 30% discount. Now that's a steep discount, guys. So you definitely want to take a look at those and take advantage of them. Let's see, the ones that I like to use, actually, here they go right here. These are the ones that I have been using a lot lately. They have that nice yellow tint. So you can try different frames, to find the frames that you like, guys. But those right there have been working very well for me. And I pretty much like the way that they are running whenever I'm using my live imaging. All right, guys. So yes, go to SolarBat. The link is in the description. Make sure you click that link and use the code so that you can make sure you take advantage of the discount. Very big discount for you guys. So like I said, anytime that I come across any deals or anything like that, I always make sure I drop the links in the description. Make sure you use those links and make sure you always use the discount code MoneyBass. All right. All right, guys. So we had a good time with this one. Really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back again. But, I have to get caught up on some things. I've kind of been out of commission for, I missed a few live streams. So we're going to do some makeup sessions. Also, how many of you are interested in seeing some live on the water live stream? So I'll probably be out on the lake tomorrow morning, just out there catching some fish on the live. So the same way that you see me now live in the studio, I will be live on the water. Maybe I'll go over some electronics, show you some things as far as the fish on the screen, the baits I'm using, and just go out there, see if I can catch a few fish. and have some fun with, maybe we'll come up with another hot topic or something like that while I'm out there fishing. So let's see, let's do a poll for that real quick. Who wants to see some live on the water footage tomorrow? Let's see, let's start another poll. If a before I do that, let's end this other poll. If convicted of fraud or theft, would you allow them to fish your tournament? So who would allow the thievery and the fraudsters to fish their tournament? We have 13% of you are saying, yeah, come on in. Come on in. Doesn't matter if you've done a little bit of thievery. Doesn't matter if you've done some fraudulation out there. You're welcome over here. Come on in. If you put yes to that chat, who put yes to the chat? Are you willing to, if you put yes, not to the chat, but to the poll, put yes in the chat if your answer was yes on the poll. I just want to see who's saying that. Yeah, everybody's welcome. Come on in. Come on and check us out. You're welcome here, brother. You can have a good old time over here fishing. We don't take a, we turn a blind eye. Our eyes are closed. See that we can't see. We don't see the felons. We don't see the felonies or the thievery that was going on. Come on in. All right, so who put yes to the poll question? Why won't anybody say they said yes to it? Because we have 13%. We have 13. That's kind of high. We have 13% of you saying that, yeah, they can come on in. All right, let's see. What's going on? Shout out to Rory Johnson. Rory says, wow, what is going on with our sport? Maybe we need to go back to cane poles. Hey, man, somebody may stuff a cane pole with some extra substances. I mean, who knows? There's ways of getting around everything. All right, so let's see. I'm just waiting to see. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. So Chris Phillips said, yeah, they can fish with me. Yes. He said, I did because I wouldn't ask. But what if you didn't ask, but it's just known. And as soon as you pull it up, you see it. They're a fella. Everybody knows what they've been doing. You see Bobby, what was his name? I can't remember his last name. But you see Bobby coming up. You're like, hey, Bobby, man, sorry to hear what happened with you and the Crappie. But come on in. So Chris, would you let Bobby, what was his name again? Let me make sure I get that. Let me put some respect on Bobby's name. Bobby Parkhurst. Would you allow Bobby Parkhurst to fish in your tournament? I'm getting a little off track, but hey, we're having some fun with it, guys. Let's change the poll instead of the live situation. Let's change it. Let's end this poll. So we have 13%. So who would let Bobby fish their tournament? You are hosting a tournament and Bobby Parkhurst comes up and he's like, hey, man, I'm still out here catching these big crappies. I'm catching these big crappies. I'm going to be out here fishing alone. It's a solo tournament. I'm going to be by myself. No cameras. Just your good old buddy Bobby out here. Just me. All right. Would you let Bobby? And Chris Phillips, let me see. Chris, what does Chris say? Chris says, if his poster was posted at the rim. Chris says, if his poster is posted, then no, Bobby can't fish. All right, let's see. Would you allow Bobby Parkhurst to fish your Crappie tournament? And we'll keep it with a simple yes. And we'll go with a no. I'll spice it up a little bit. You guys will see. Let me see. All right. That poll is live and in action. Let me know if you like the way I kind of, set it up for you. Would you allow Bobby Parkhurst to fish your Crappie tournament? Bobby's like, hey, buddy, I'm out here. I'm on them out here catching some big old crappies. Their stomachs are a little fat. Don't worry about the length, but look at the girth. Look at the girth of that Crappie I just caught. Good old Crappie. Who would let Bobby fish with him? All right, so Chris was like, yeah, he can fish as long as I don't know. But now I saw your poster, Bobby. It's kind of hard for me to unsee what I saw. All right, let me see. The burning season says, I know a guy that let me see this, banned for life from fishing the ABA weekend series because he refused to take his co-angler he drew because he didn't want the guy to see how he catches fish. Oh no. But hey, I mean, I that was a question when we were talking about a BFL a few months ago, where there was a angler. He showed up to fish. His co-angler showed up, got on the boat, asked him. He saw that he had a live imaging on his boat. He had Livescope on there, and he asked him, "Hey, are you going to be live scoping?" And the guy said, "Yeah." He packed up his stuff, got off the boat, and did not fish that tournament, which means that boater is not going to be able to participate in that BFL. And that was the same question I asked. Should that organization allow that co-angler to come back and fish when he does something like that to one of the participants? He just walked off on him. All right, so let's see what else you guys are talking about. So I'm going to go through the chat while you guys are participating in the poll. We have some interesting answers going on. So we still have some yeses going on. All right, so let's see. Joe Winkler says that guy has a rap sheet longer than his boat. Oh no. All right, CT says money can manipulate a pole but can't catch a keeper spot. So you're saying I can't catch a keeper. I'm gonna have to go out there tomorrow and show CT a little something. See, when I go out there, I do get caught up in the chat and I start talking a little more than I should be. I should be focusing on fishing, but it's kind of hard. It's fun. It's fun when I'm out there talking to you guys while I'm fishing. All right, let's see. The burning season says Cerebral. He's also that guy that made it so you can't fish marinas on Oneida Lake during tourneys because he was friends with the owner of a marina that was posted no fishing, but the owner let him go in. Oh no, that's not good. Chasing the Bass says Bobby's gonna be in the money every tournament. Every tournament, Bobby's like, where's my check at? You see these big old crappies I got. My crappies are big. They some big ones. They're not that long, but their stomachs are fat. They're not that long, but their stomachs are fat. All right, let's see. Oh man. All right. So the burning seed says, yeah, no one likes the dude. Okay, so y'all having a kind of a sidebar conversation in here. All right, let's see what else you guys are talking about. All right, so let's go ahead and just check this poll, guys, and then we'll change that poll up and see what you guys are thinking about tomorrow. All right, so the poll question is, would you allow Bobby, the almost crappy record holder, Parkhurst, to fish your crappie tournament? We have 17% that says, oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, felons are welcome. Come on in here. Come on in here. You can fish our crappie tournament. Bring those big old fat, those short and fat. They're short, but the stomachs are fat. You can go ahead and bring them on in here. Let's put them on the scale, see what you got. All right, so we have 17% of you. But hey, we don't have too many people participating in the poll. Come on, guys, get active in the poll. Let's see what you guys have to say about allowing felons to participate in your tournament. All right, so the poll is active. I'm going to wait till we get a few more votes in here. All right, so would you allow Bobby to fish your crappie tournament? Bobby's already, I mean, you saw Bobby's rap sheet. We already talked about it. All right, let's see. Mike Dill says, he says, no cheetahs. No cheetahs allowed in my tournament. So I might fish Mike's tournament then. I might fish Mike's tournament. All right, the burning season says, does anyone know how fast crappie go? Well, they don't go too fast when they have, he says how fast crappie grow. I mean, they grow a lot faster when they got some steel shot in their stomachs. That makes them grow a lot faster than what they should be. They're short, but the stomachs are fat. Got a shorty fatty. All right, let me see. All right, Eat Squawk says, hey, what do you have against cheetahs? I mean, you shouldn't be treating cheetahs that bad. All right, so yeah, okay. So we have a few people that are saying it. We'll go ahead and end this one. You guys don't really want to say. Somebody's out here saying, yeah, they let him fish, but I know they're not going to say who they are. All right, so now, do you guys want to see some live on the water action? Possibly some live on the water action tomorrow I can do an on the water live stream where I'm out there. I'll either show you guys the electronics screen so where you can see the fish that I'm targeting, or I'll set up the wide view. But either way, I'll have a chest cam on so you can actually see the cast, see the retrieve, all that good stuff. So it's up to you. Let's see, what do you guys think? Do you want to see some live on the water footage tomorrow? Let's see. All right, so the burning season says, if I stream, what lake am I going to go to? I think I will go to Lake Lanier. We'll go and check out Lanier, Clearwater Herring Lake. All right, he says, Money, you want to show off forward-facing sonar? Come to New York. Come on up here and hang up with some New Yorkers. I was going to try a New York accent, but I'm not too good at it. All I know is like, yeah, come on up here. Come on up here. Come on up here and try some forward-facing sonar up here in New York. All right, is that good? Is that all right? All right. Oh, let me put this poll up here real quick. All right. All right. So should I do an on the water live tomorrow? Who would tune in to see the on the water live? So depending on how many yeses I get will determine whether I do that live or not. I'm not going to tell you the number though, but let's see. Should I do an on the water live tomorrow? We'll keep it simple with a yes and a no. So that poll question is up and running. I'm just looking to see, what do you guys think? Do you want to see me out on the water doing a few casts, maybe setting the hook 1 or 2 times, maybe go out there for like an hour or two, something like that? All right, so let's see. Big Ivy said, I said I will let him fish. Uh-oh. Big Ivy said, yeah, you're welcome. Come on over here with those short and fat crappie. You can fish with me. All right. So Big Ivy says, felons are welcome. You're welcome over here. It's all love. It's all love. The burning season says, you Southern boys talk too slow. When I watch Ty Castle down, I have to speed it up to 1.5. Oh, yeah, we take it slow and easy down here. Take it slow and easy. I mean, we enjoy the good life. We want to kick back and listen to the birds, watch the trees. I mean, why move so fast? Life is short, so you got to kind of spread it out. Life is short, so you got to take it slow. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Down here living the Southern lifestyle. It's all good. All right. So, yeah, I might be up there in New York someday. Come out there and hang out with the big skyscrapers and all that good stuff y'all have going on up there. All right. Shout out to Chasing the Bass says, at Burning, not all of us, a lot of us run our words and sentences together. Oh yeah, you have some people that don't know punctuation down here. They'll just keep it all going. You ask them a question and 15 minutes later they're just getting to the answer after they've explained a bunch of stuff. All right, let's see. All right, so now let's take a look. All right, we have 11 votes and 91% are saying yes. Can we get to 20 votes? Let's get to 20 votes and see what you guys are saying. We have 11 people and not even all 11 are saying yes. Go out to the lake. We want to see you out there on the lake. All right. We're up to 12, 92%. Okay. Chasing that. All right. I'm checking the chat. All right, guys, look, I've been running for over 2 hours, so it's went a little long on this one. But I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. We had a great time tonight. I am back. I will be back again. So I'll do multiple lives each week now to try to get caught up on things and just to kind of give you guys some more information. If you have any interesting topics that you want to cover, make sure you check the description. I will put some additional links in there. My Instagram is @officialmoneybass. So just send me information or links to any articles or videos or anything like that you want to cover. And hey, we'll start doing these a little more often throughout the week, guys. All right. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out if you did not hit it on the way in. And also a big shout out to the sponsor of tonight's live stream, Joe Winker. All right, guys, I will see you on the next live.